our activities. I'm Alastair MacPhail. I'm the head of the communication department of the European Training Foundation. Next slide, Daria.
Yes.
So the European Training Foundation, we are an agency of the European Union. We're financed by the European Union. Our mandate is to help the countries neighbouring the European Union to reform their education and training systems in the context of the EU's external relations policies. Now, you may be aware or not that the European Union is the biggest donor of development aid to the countries surrounding the EU, and our work is very much to support that. Now, next slide, Daria. To let see the countries where we work. We work in North Africa. We work in the countries of the Mediterranean countries of the Middle East. We work in the candidate countries of the Western Balkans and also Turkey. We work in Eastern Europe and we work in Central Asia. So that's a huge range of very diverse countries with very different challenges that we try to help them in dealing with.
Excuse me, Alastair. Is noise?
Is it coming from me?
Okay. Well,
I hope not. I'm keeping. So moving on to the next slide. We have been created to advance human capital development in the countries outside the European Union, and we support the skills dimension of the EU's external action policy. And in order to achieve this, we provide assistance to our partner countries in a variety of different ways, which I'm going to go into more because I think it's interesting from your perspective to understand how think tanks like the European Training Foundation can support the policy cycle, the policy development and implementation cycle in our partner countries. So if we can have a slide. I don't know. I hope this is not me. This kind of scraping noise. So we're working in a variety of fields, including area of improving skills, so digital and online learning, and you can imagine this is a really hot topic right now, where schools across the countries where we work are in lockdown, and everybody is trying to get to grips with learning and teaching online, like we're doing here. We work in the area of qualifications, teacher training, work-based learning, that's to say apprenticeships, what you call the alternanza scuola lavoro. We also work in the area of employment and employability, particularly on youth employability, which is a huge challenge in all the countries where we work, on entrepreneurship, and supporting the business development in our partner countries. An important component of our work is working at system level to make sure that systems deliver for everybody. So we're working a lot on governance. We provide policy analysis, progress monitoring, which I'll explain a little bit more, and issues of financing and funding. And above all, we're working, as I said, we're working to support the external relations policies of the European Union in our countries, which involves providing practical support to the EU delegations, advising EU policy making, supporting the institutions, and is also working very closely with international donors. Right there. Okay, just a few words now then about who we are. We were established in 1990. It took about 4 years for the institutions to decide where we were going to be located. And finally, this decision happened in 1994. We actually started work in Turin. We are financed by the European Union 100%, and we have a staff of about 130 people, budget of 21 million euros, which is a small amount in the big scheme of things, and we work with 29 partner countries. Have the next slide there. So a bit of word about the bigger picture of our communication. Our work is divided between, let's say, our corporate communications, which on the one hand is very much addressed towards the Brussels bubble, if for want of a better word, the different institutions who finance us, and who are our political masters, and let's say the main communication effort there is demonstrating to them that they're investing their money wisely by giving it to us and showing that our work is relevant and adds value. To a certain extent, let's say we have a duty as an EU body to communicate towards the general public. We're all paying our taxes, so you have a right to know what we do, and we have a right to, we have let's say, an interest in demonstrating to European citizens that what we do is of benefit to them. We're working to support prosperity and stability in the countries around the EU, and prosperous neighbours is good for them, and it's also good for us. Our communication also is towards the different organizations that we work in partnership to support our partner countries, in particular the EU delegations and the European services of the external towards other donor organizations, the international organizations like UNESCO, OECD, World Bank, and ILO, who are also present and working in our countries, and also towards the various national development organizations like Agence France Développement, or the German Development Agency, the British Council, and a lot of smaller countries like the Swiss, the Belgians, and also the Italians. And let's say the big focus of our work is towards our partner country stakeholders, the people who play a role in the development and implementation of in the education and training sector. And if we can have the next slide. So just to provide a bit of context here, I wanted to show this slide with an example of a policy cycle to support our countries in reforming their education and training systems. And over the last decades, approaches to development have been moving away from ad hoc development projects to supporting homegrown development strategies that are designed and implemented by the governments of the countries with the support of international donors. And this support can take a variety of forms, information, analysis, and advice, design donor-funded programs and projects that fit into the government's broader development strategy, providing technical assistance and capacity development for capacity building for policy development and implementation. And increasingly, what is we call budget support. This is rather than giving, let's say, financing specific projects. This involves basically giving money to the government in the form of grants and loans, but that are conditional on them reaching certain development objectives that we have agreed together, which we measure using indicators such as, X% increase in school population, increase in graduates getting jobs, reduction of unemployment, and so on. And we support the governments in achieving this through advice, guidance, and community building. To give a better idea of how we work in this context, it's policy cycle. That's the process through which governments identify what the challenges are, decide on the priorities, develop policy solutions, implement them, and then monitor and support implementation, and evaluate the impact, and then adjust the response moving forward, and then we're into another cycle. And you can see in this diagram, we've got agenda setting, we've got prioritization, policy development, implementation, evaluation, and then, we're into a different round. So it's vital that policy is grounded in evidence, and a great deal of our work involves collecting and analyzing evidence ourselves, and helping governments develop their own capacity to collect and analyze evidence and feed that into policy development. Policies also require input and buy-in from the people who will be implementing them, the local authorities, the schools, teachers, businesses, the other donor organizations, and the people who will be affected by them, the teachers, the students, families, communities. And supporting this policy dialogue in our partner countries is another important area of our work. And the policy development itself requires technical input in the form of thematic analysis, exchange of good practice, models, tools, methodologies. And here we play an important role as a bridge between the European Union and our partner countries, bringing knowledge about what works and what doesn't, and in what circumstances. At the implementation stage, the ETF is less present, except in our support to the EU delegations, for whom we identify and design EU-funded interventions, and we design indicators for EU budget support programs. And importantly, we support the involvement of stakeholders, and we do what we call content monitoring. That's to say, we follow the implementation, we look at what's working and what is working less well, and we provide advice and technical input along the way to keep the actions on track. We also play a broader role in building and exchanging knowledge, experience, and good practice with the partner countries, as well as with the international community on education and training and skills in developing and transition contexts. We have developed a great deal of experience and expertise in different areas, which I think I outlined a bit before: governance, financing, training, qualifications, labor market systems, apprenticeships, and so on. And we also have access to knowledge developed by international organizations like UNESCO, ILO, or the OECD, as well as European bodies, the European Commission on the one hand, CEDEFOP, which is our sister organization, which works in the area of vocational education and training inside the EU member states, and also the EU member states themselves, like Italy, for example, that we, in the local context, we draw a lot on examples of good practice, and we organize study visits, bringing people from our partner countries to the EU so that they can see for themselves how things are organized and how things work on the ground. Now, one of the objectives in our new strategy is to enhance our profile as a global knowledge hub. And in a minute, I'm going to say something about our knowledge sharing platform, Open Space, which is at the center of this effort. So just to conclude, in our context, beside our corporate communications, a lot of our work is not about outreach to the general public. It's about engaging with very specific target publics and developing specific communication and actions and products, often with quite a technical content that helps our stakeholders in the countries move the development agenda forwards. And a lot of our work involves working very closely with experts to package their content in the form of publications, presentations, brochures, policy notes, and so on, and supporting their communication efforts towards our stakeholders with web, digital, audiovisual, and social media content. So I think that's all I have to say on the general. I think if we can now move on to actually looking at what those different communication channels that we use in order to reach out to our stakeholders. So I think that is, I don't know where that brings us on to Daria.
Yes.
Do we have Joe there?
Yes.
Daria, is Joe there?
I think so. Joe, are you there? I think she's. Just let me
given
check.
Up. She's not able to join.
Joe is there. Yes, I confirm.
Oh.
Right. Can you give her the microphone? I don't know.
Joe, okay. Now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm still here. I haven't given up.
Okay.
Marinella, just before we go on, do you want to take any questions from the audience?
Yes, and now, okay, but only one person could have the microphone open, because student underlined that there is a noise in the speech, during the speech. Now, okay, have you some questions? Students, girl and boy students, have you some questions? You can read the chat. Ci sono domande, ci sono questioni poco chiare su cui volete maggiori spiegazioni? Do you have some questions for Alastair? And no, at the moment, no. The role of ETF and the aim, the mission of the ETF in the European zone. No, at the moment it's all clear. Thank you. Okay, it's clear for now. Alastair, Daria, Joe, you read? Are you read the chat?
Yeah, I didn't see any questions. So.
Okay, any question?
I was thinking, if you don't mind, that maybe Alastair could show his face for a second, so that he's visible to all the students. Can he? No, I think it's a nice idea to.
Hi there.
Okay.
So, Joe, I think it's over to you now.
Okay. Hello, everybody. So this section now is about the communication channels, and my part in this presentation is very small. I'm just going to talk to you about our publications and then hand over back to Alastair, who will talk about other channels that we use a lot. Alastair and Daria, who will talk about a lot of the other channels that we use. So in terms of publications, that was always once one of our main outputs, but is increasingly obviously being taken over by more modern digital means of communicating. So here on the screen you can see a small selection from our website of some of the publications that we deal with every year. We make between 50 and 100 publications, mostly in English, although we do also work in Russian, in Arabic, in French, in German, and Daria's gone too fast with the slides. I wanted to talk about some of these things, don't worry, which is the Torino process. which is one of our main projects, which it looks at analysing the systems of vocational education and training in all our partner countries in line with a standard framework. So every other year, we make a report on each individual country, and as you can see on the left, on a regional basis, of the state of play of vocational education and training in each country. Then another publication to highlight, which is one of our big successes, is the key indicators, which gives lots and lots of statistics about education, skills and employment, and we make that publication every year. I'll hand over now to Alastair, who's going to talk about the web and one of our latest channels. Thank you.
Okay, do I have the microphone?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Good. So I mentioned that, let's say, part of the European Training Foundation's role is to be a knowledge hub on vocational education and training and skills in developing countries. And one of the initiatives which we launched last year was to provide a platform where policymakers, experts, teachers, school directors, everyone involved in education and training can share knowledge in a very flexible sort of a way. It was launched last autumn, and we've got 1,356 members. It's a membership community, so people need to sign in order to access the information, and also to be able to post and share their own content. It's basically Facebook for education and training nerds. So it has a stream, a content stream, very like Facebook, where all the latest posts and the latest content that's uploaded appears. And then there are different types of content that people can create on the platform. So blogs are a very popular one. Wikis, events, resources, and alongside, let's say, the more dynamic content in the form of blogs and posts in the stream, we can also create much more structured content under the content type pages, which enable us to create, to build up toolkits. For example, we have a toolkit on governance, where there is a wide range of information and resources on issues of how to govern vocational education and training. We've got one on qualifications. We have one on quality assurance. So it's a space where people can exchange information, good practices, have discussions about topics of interest, and can also have access to a lot more structured resources that we as the ETF have built up over the years. So this is, let's say we see this as being very much the hub of us as a knowledge hub, developing and exchanging information in cooperation with partners, international or national, and helping to support the reform of education and training that way. So it's over to you, Daria, I think.
Sorry?
It's over to you, Daria.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, first I'll just show for a second my face. Hello,
It's
can you see me?
Eccoli. Hello.
Hello, everyone. I don't know, Marinella, whether the video it's maybe lowering the quality, so I remove it. But
No, it's good. It's good. No, it's good.
No, because I have a very bad connection.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, but it's okay. It's okay. It's better to see you, to see your face.
Okay. Maybe just for a second, maybe before I keep on with this presentation, if also Jo can show her face if she's still there. I think it's nice that we all can.
Sorry?
I am still here, but I don't think I can show my face because I'm an attendee, not a something else, whatever you are.
Okay, sorry, but we'll share a picture of the team later. Okay, so sorry, just to before continuing on the channels, if you don't mind, I'm curious because the tool we are using is very efficient, but it's a bit cold, maybe not to know. How can I see who's attending here? How many people are there?
Hai alzato la mano.
Participants.
You see the participant. There is a little picture with okay, in the middle. Okay, you click and you see all the participants.
So we have sorry, just to
you have stand your hand.
Okay.
Click again and okay, perfect.
So we have Ilaria, Sara, Martina, Giulia, Edoardo, Giulia, Ilaria, free Ilaria.
Hey, Ilaria.
I assume. Manu, non so se è la o Ele, Sara, Fabio, Carla, Serena, Carlotta, Joe, Ilenia, Alessia, I assume, or Alessio, Clesi, Alice, Elisa, and that's it.
Okay.
Hello everyone. I'll keep the chat here. If actually, do you see what I put on the right side of my screen, or you only see the presentation?
No, we see your screen and your face.
Perfetto.
Okay.
So I just remove this and this. So I really invite all those who are there to write questions and raise hand anytime if something is not clear. So I'll continue on what Alastair and Jo were talking about. So the channels, they introduced the publications, the web, and this very good and great project, which is Open Space. And I really invite you all to subscribe to it because you're all part of the learning community. And the link, I will share it later, will also go, actually, maybe it can be done even here. Let me check. Sorry, just a sec. Okay.
No, we see the presentation and the next, okay.
Okay.
Later.
It's okay to do. So, Open Space. Okay, what Alastair earlier. I really invite you to join. So here you see the link, openspace.etf.ru. Okay, browser.
You can write in the chat. You
okay, I do
you paste and copy in the chat the link, and all the students can open.
It's done. Okay, so as you know, and this is the ETF website. These are all which will be relevant for you also for an exercise that we'll do together later on. So going back to the presentation, we also run media relations at the ETF, and basically have three main target audiences for what we do. One is the local level, because we are based in Torino, and this means that anyway we need to communicate about our presence to the local arena, which happened more closely during some big events we did last year and 2 years ago, and we'll tell you more later on, and I invite Jo and Alastair to intervene. As well, another level for our media relations is the Brussels media sphere, because given that we are an EU agency, so we are an EU institution, we need, of course, to inform the media about what we do. And given that what we do is mainly in the countries which are outside of the European Union, so we do foreign policy in a way, it's always a bit of a challenge, but at the same time, it's also extremely interesting to do that. And for example, last year, for our 25 years, because it was 25 years since our foundation, we have organized a big event in Brussels in November. And again, I invite Joe and Alastair if they want to add something about that. Many journalists from the Brussels sphere, because Brussels is made of Brussels correspondents, were invited so as to report. Our third level of action are the local spheres. Local, by local, I mean the spheres, the media spheres of the countries where we work. In this picture, you can see some fact sheets we had prepared, some presentations for the media about the education and labor market policies in the countries where we work, and where we present also the action of the ETF and the action of the European Union. Just for your curiosity, are you aware of the EU delegation systems? Raise your hand. I don't know if it's possible. Is it possible? Give some sign for the participants.
Potete alzare le mani se avete qualcosa da dire. O scriverlo in chat, ma è meglio che così sentano la vostra voce.
Write in the chat if you know about also the EU delegations. Just say yes or no, or a little. I'm trying to exploit all the interactivity of this.
Okay. No.
No. Okay.
No.
Thank you, Sarah.
Okay.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much as well. So the point is that the European Union is working, has got some sort of representation officers in all countries. Within the member states, this is called the representations. For the countries outside of the European Union, it's called delegations. So the delegations are for the European Training Foundation, which is us, a key partner in order to spread our messages across the country, because we do not have personal relations with journalists for each of the 29 partner countries. But of course, our colleagues in the delegations can help with that. And the picture you see here was taken by Alastair and myself, where we attended a meeting on communication together with all the delegations from the area of the Western Balkans and Turkey. So it was an occasion for us to, let's say, work at a wider corporate level. Because when we say corporate, we might think about us as an agency, but in this case, it was corporate in the sense at an EU level in the field of the foreign policy. And this, in this very specific context, we were at the EU delegation in Skopje. Another is, of course, our public, which means liaising mainly with our partners and peers, namely those who either are working in the same field where we work, maybe with a different institutional setting, or those who are active in the countries where we work. So, for example, the EU delegations. And let's say that communication-wise, what we aim at is building together with them communication messages. What you see in this picture is basically a toolkit, a take action toolkit, which we have shared with the EU delegations, as you can see maybe here, from of the European Union in Algeria, Jordan, Lebanon, Morocco, Palestine, and Tunisia. where we had launched already 2 years ago a survey to explore the role of civil society in creating some input in the education and labor policies of the country. Next, I'm very sad because the slide of social media is empty. Actually, I think it's because the picture was too heavy. But I'll try to find the pictures in another way. Just give me a second. Oops, I'm really sorry. Sec. Do you still see?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
We copied the link of your site in the chat room.
Yeah. Yes, very so. We are obviously very active on social media, and I'll give you more reasons also why we have been investing even further in these channels too. But the picture I had put, basically, it was a picture I wanted to play a bit with you because it was a live interview we done with Demetrio Albertini. I don't know how many of you are very young, know Demetrio Albertini. Demetrio Albertini was a football player by Milan and also by the national football team. Bravo, Alessio. I see that this is raising the engagement. Number 4, very good. So I really need to find the picture now. I'll Google it because I think it's I go here. Wait a second. Here. So I introduce you our page because in the past years we have tried to in under new forms to run communication in new social media channels. And every year do something which is vocational skills, which is they're causing a festival for vocation. Distribution of the European, this is done very clearly. The European sell ambassadors. Let's say
sorry, Daria, the connection is not so good. Stop and go.
Yes.
Okay.
Hear me now? I removed my face
but
segment.
Okay. Oh,
can you hear
damage? Me? Okay. Okay. Can you speak?
You hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So I want. Okay. So let's here it is. Do you please say if you say yes if you see my screen? Okay. Very good. So this was what I wanted to put in the Facebook presentation, but I did not manage. So we interviewed Demetrio Albertini, number 4. When we were in Helsinki last year for the European Vocational Skills Week, and I had put the picture here, but eventually it did not. The purpose was to show that we've been using social media channel over the years by changing a bit the tone and the style. And we'll ask you also your opinion on it later on during this presentation. As part of our social media strategy, we've also changed a bit the way we've been producing the content for social media. So what this video on the slides on the bottom right is a screenshot taken from a video we've produced about students in Serbia who are learning entrepreneurial competences. Do you all know what entrepreneurial competences are? Say yes or no.
No.
Bravissimo, Alessio, competenze imprenditoriali. Yes, so basically, we've been working a lot on entrepreneurial competences, and I mention it because we've been producing a lot of communication material on this topic, included what you see in this video, which we relate to a framework created by the European Commission, which is called the Entrecomp. And it's basically a set of skills which make you an entrepreneurial person. Among these skills, there is, for example, the capacity to communicate, to work in a team, to be resilient, to have a vision. And every year, for the past years, this year is going to change. At the European Vocational Skills Week, we've been scouting the best stories in the whole neighborhood as far as how schools were training students to become entrepreneurial. So the guys you see in this picture are students from Serbia, and basically they were producing soap A to Z. So they were creating the chemical, let's say the chemical, I don't know how to name that, the formula, the chemical formula to produce the soap. They were choosing the color, the flavor, the packaging, the brand, a price. They were even selling this soap in the local markets. And with that money, they were buying some, let's say, some equipment for the students' room in the school. So we thought it was a very nice story, and we've produced a video, but we've decided to make it social media first. So it was like a squared video with all the writing on top, so that it can be seen also without the audio on. And we've promoted this video targeting more particularly Serbia. So what you see on the left of the screen is basically the result of our 13 euro having been spent for the promotion of this video. And as you can see, we've reached out to a target audience which is pretty young, which is 18 to 24 years old, and mainly in Serbia and Brussels. Those were the target audience for this specific case. Is there a question for Alice to add something? Sara, Alessio, Carlotta, everything is fine? I'm just mentioning the last names I see. Thank you, Alessio. Okay, so to recap, we are an agency of the European Union, so we support the European Union, and the very interesting thing is that we work exclusively outside of the European Union, and we help the European Union by supporting the countries in creating, in reforming education and labor market systems. Why so? Because it creates more stability and a fair environment around us. So the point is how to communicate all that we do in a ordered, structured, and strategic way, okay, and being newsworthy. First, we try to prioritize. Being a team of 130 people at the European Trading Foundation, working in 29 countries, you can imagine how many events and publications and initiatives we run. Or I'd like to play a game here. Can you guess how many events we have organized last year? Just say a number. More, please. Closer. Was more than 100. Okay. So as you can imagine, prioritizing communication on a year which is of 365 days, and you want to exclude maybe the weekends, it's very complicated. So we've built what you see in this phase. It's a planner where we try to highlight what are the priorities for our communication, and these priorities could not only be led by the ETF agenda, but could also be led by some external agendas. For example, EU, here you see, for example, an EU plenary. So there could be like an EU plenary which is talking about topics which are for under our agenda, or could be hooks, what we call hooks. So, for example, it's good to talk about labor policies on the 1st of May, or about gender balance in access to work on Women's Day. Or this year, for example, for the first time, we have also communicated on Valentine's Day. What do you think we have communicated on Valentine's Day? Elisa, what do you think? Or Carlotta or Sara? What can an institution working in education and training, an EU institution, could communicate on Valentine's Day? It's just a game, and there's no right or wrong answer. It was a game for us as well. So we invented a visual with a fake app, and this fake app had a bit of the design of, let's say, the love matching app like Tinder. And the idea was that we were playing with matching the skills with the jobs that one person might want. And this is precisely the purpose of what we do, making it possible for people to get the job they want and for companies to hire the best people as possible, this by having a well-functioning education system. So what we try to do while we work in communication is also link our activities to some hooks which can be a powerful opportunity to spread the message across and potentially be also a bit viral. So I said that increasing social media and digital communication with, both with the web and open and our media. This because numbers tell us to do so. I assume you've already seen this data in a way or another. It strikes me all the time to give a look. I've looked this morning to the updated numbers for the sake of this presentation. And I find it amazing that out of 7.75 billion of people, 5.19 people are unique mobile phone users, which gives us, and 3.80 are active social media users, which also give us a big, a clear indicator as regards how to communicate and what kind of products we need to build, a product which can be visible from the screen of a phone. So maybe the font should be not too small, or the speed for reading should be adapted, just a detail. And also in the strategic choice we do when we make, we have a look at the trends which are globally taking place. These are the world's most used social media platforms, and as you see, Facebook and YouTube are prominently high among others at the global level, although there might be big discrepancies per age groups, followed by messaging tools like WhatsApp and Messenger and WeChat. And then it's about Instagram, TikTok, and others. Twitter, as you see, it goes well below, but it's nevertheless very relevant. And I don't know if Jo would want to add something here, because, or if she cannot intervene now, or maybe if you can let her do that, Marinella, because we've worked also with a consultancy, which helped us a lot understand that the different tools we use are for our different audiences. Jo, are you there?
I'm here, yeah.
would you like to add about the distribution of audiences per social media? Because I think that's super interesting, and it proves why it's still relevant, for example, to invest on Twitter.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, very briefly, I mean, when we did this evaluation last year, we hadn't been using Instagram for that long. So that's something that we need to look at a bit more. But I think basically, and in a nutshell, to answer Daria's question, we see Facebook is used mostly by people in our partner countries. It's used mostly by people who are in our EU, or let's say the Brussels bubble that Alastair talked about before. So they follow us there. And that's quite interesting in terms of differentiating your messages per channel, I think. Hand back to you now, Daria.
Yes, thank you, Joe. Indeed, that's what basically is driving our communication choices now. Beyond that, also, let's say that, I don't know the word in English, but okay, well, the geographical distribution of the use of social network is also driving our choices. This is pretty much it. I really recommend you to go on the website by Vincenzo Cosenza, vincos.it. I assume many of you know about it. Have you heard already about this website before?
Okay. Vincenzo Cosenza, no?
Okay. So I really recommend you to go on this website because he's collecting and updating this website very often. And now we don't have the time to do that. But out of your personal curiosity, I really recommend you to the different maps from the use of social networks from the past years. Because if you see the evolution, for example, in the past 3 years, Facebook has been covering basically the whole of Africa. And it's also been moving east. Whereas in the past years, some countries, some Central Asian, not Central Asia, some, let's say, Eastern European countries who were not covered in blue are now covered in blue. And this is why, I mean, another reason why in the past year and a half we've been, thank you, Marinella, we've been investing even further in Facebook. Although we have been discussing, and Joe might want to add on that as well, the possibility, for example, of opening up to Russian, I mean, so social media which are more present in the Russian sphere, because we also work with Russia. But that, of course, needs maintenance, which that's why we've been discussing it. But for the time being, we haven't explored that operationally, like opening the channel. And this is another very interesting map, I think, which is the word map of social apps. And as you see here, so it's more for direct messaging. The word, I mean, the area where we work is divided in two. So it's either Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp, and there is a part of Northern Africa which is not covered at all. It's really interesting because we've discovered the use of sponsored ads on social media in the past years as a way to reach out to our target audience, hoping to make good service. We're not doing propaganda; it's just to make we hope to do good service. Some of the promotions we've done, we also done it by clicking on the option of having the message in Messenger itself. Obviously, not too intrusive, just in the this actually, I thought I had another one, but I didn't. Well, I'll tell you what I don't have. I invite you to go and search. Find it on Hootsuite, and I'll give you the link to this as well. We shared a lot of social media use data. And what's extremely interesting is the gender distribution, the access to social media. And for the countries we work with, it's still, let's say, 1 to 3 or even 1 to 4. So every 4 people using social are men. and one is a woman. And this is something which we obviously have to take into account when our public duty is obviously to reach out to people in a very positive way, which means that maybe we can spend some more money to target women so as to counterbalance the access. And this is the last slide about data, which I think it's really inspirational because it's number of people in millions in each region who are not, and I would add, yet connected to the internet. And when you think that we are working in Northern Africa and Southern Europe, and also Eastern Europe and part of Central Asia, the numbers are big, which means that on one side we might expect increasing number of people who will be connected at some point, but at the same time, this also means that communicating for real to these populations does not mean using digital media only. Are there questions until here? Were you aware of data?
It's all clear. Do you have some question?
Okay, I'd like to just to
Sarah,
on what.
Sorry, Sarah has a question.
Okay. These are the number of people who are not yet updated 2020 connected to the internet, which gives us two basically directions for actions. Now, I mean, I think the data are always way to lead to action, not to interpret them so as to act in a way or in another communication-wise. On one side, this means that where the numbers are big or those who are not yet connected, it means that at some point they might be connected, and it will mean a growing audience as far as the digital media are concerned. But on the other hand, it also means that when you really want to be inclusive, which is what we want to be, being a public institution, and with the idea, like the UN says, of leaving no one behind, and this means that our action is to be driven also in other ways. Therefore, for example, communicating to multipliers like we do, sharing communication material with the ministries, the delegations, the schools, so that they can themselves distribute valuable content, even to those who do not have access to the internet. Is this clear, Sarah? Okay. Joy and Alastair, would you like to add something?
Not for me. I'm still getting a very horrible noise in the background, though. To hear. No, I don't think it's you. I don't know.
Okay. Now, I go quickly on this phase because our idea was basically today to have 1 hour where we present what we do and we reflect with you, and then give you the opportunity to be part of the ETF for these 3 hours. So get engaged in an activity, so as to also make it a bit more participatory. If you don't mind, 10 more minutes on the newsworthiness aspect of what we do. Because very often we've been asking ourselves, are we newsworthy? What do you think? What is it for you being newsworthy? What is something a news? There is the silence. Okay, I'll help you out with that because it is not an exam, but it's just to say that very often one might think that as far as public institutions are concerned, something is newsworthy, for example, when you give a lot of money out. So you communicate that we give 3 billion euro to a country, or that we have met the president of, I don't know, that the president of the European Commission is coming to the ETF in Torino. This is newsworthy. So our question was, can we be newsworthy even with our, let's say, smaller, between brackets, things? What we've decided to use, what is worthy to be published? Yes, this is a very good observation, actually. And that's also precisely one question we've asking ourselves, the ETF. Very often, Joe and I so wish we as the communication team, under those, or all the, let's say, the number of activities which we do, which is very valuable, sometimes we are invited to communicate about all these activities, and our question is precisely that. Is this worthy to be published? Is it worthy to go on our social media or on our website or on our open space? And what we found is what you see written in these slides is not my personal writing. It's information that we've collected collectively. It's basically what is guiding us in selecting something which can be newsworthy or not. So either is something is impactful, because it might have consequences on people. So for example, 2 years ago, we've been communicating a lot, you see it later, about a change in job market, talking about digitization, automation. So these changes are impactful, therefore communicating about that can be impactful. The timeliness, I'll use an example later. So these days, for example, we've launched a campaign called Learning Connects. I'll present it later on, which is timely precisely because it's about education in social distancing, consequence of COVID. Proximity. Proximity is about being communicating something that's really affecting you even in your private life. That is obviously sometimes more difficult to do when you are an international, a supranational institution, but the challenge is precisely to communicate, why does this matter to me, my personal life? And this is connected also to the human interest. So sometimes talking about education and labor policies for specific audiences can be a bit difficult or dry if you just talk about big numbers and big recommendations and policy papers. So it has to become human. There should be a human interest. Something which makes it also makes something newsworthy is also conflict. Not necessarily should be included by the institutional communication, because it can be also conflict against a negative. So, for example, in the specific situation is facing the challenge posed by coronavirus and social distancing. The bizarre, which we are not using much, although curiosity is something which we can be using in what we do, namely with when working with the media, interesting cases for the countries. And then obviously celebrities make things newsworthy, so having some influential speaker together with us, like the case of Demetrio Albertini, number 4 of AC Milan. What's in for the ETF? So for us, we try to promote local success stories to raise human interest. We try to write evidence-based stories, like what Jo was saying earlier when she mentioned the Torino process. So this report about how countries are improving their education systems. These are data, these are very valuable content. Timeliness, so based on hooks, we mentioned that before, Women's Day, but we can say some politically relevant, institutionally relevant angles. So, for example, the fight against climate change. And proximity, so stories of the EU supporting people in their own countries, maybe in their own neighborhood or in their own school. For example, in the last weeks, the Directorate General for Neighborhood and Enlargement has been, so the Directorate General, which is working in the countries neighboring the EU, has been communicating a lot about EU-funded projects in education, highlighting, for example, the stories of vocational training centers who turned their activity into the production of masks, safety equipment for the COVID challenges in the countries. That was a way to show that there was some sort of proximity also of the EU action in the country. So on one side, there is content which is to be linked to newsworthiness. And on the other side, which you find here on the right side of the screen, and what we call multi-channel outreach, is precisely what we mentioned before. So PR, so like with the press teams of the delegations or networks of multipliers. Alastair, would you like to maybe to present capacity for dev or EU neighbors?
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up that I mean, there was this is a quote that's been attributed to a lot of people, but it's, you know, a dog bites man is not news, but man bites dog is news. I think that we have a big challenge. We have a big challenge with the content of what we're doing, vocational education and training. For some reason, is a difficult topic to make newsworthy, because somehow, I mean, most journalists went to university. There's few journalists who have been to vocational training school, so it's something that's not really on their radar, and it's very easy to get attention for higher education, for example, research, but very difficult to do it with vocational education and training. So I think this, the notion of, of having hooks, and I think also, let's say, tapping into broader narratives, or tapping into sort of zeitgeisty topics, because I mean, I think one of the most successful things that we did was related to the future of work. If you remember, over the last couple of years, there has been a lot of talk about digitalization and automation and Industry 4.0, and the ILO was talking about it, and the OECD and the World Bank, everyone was talking about the future of work, and we managed to tie into that by opening up a discussion about the future of skills and what does it mean, what skills do people need in this new world, and talking about digitalization and new forms of training and so on. So I think that's, I mean, something to bear in mind. The organization that you're working for, you may not be very visible in terms of the news agenda, but you need to look out for these opportunities to somehow link into those broader narratives in the news, and particularly now the campaign that we're doing about how schools in our partner countries are coping with social distancing is a very zeitgeisty topic for obvious reasons, and we've been getting a lot of traction with our campaign on that. You wanted me to talk about capacity for devs. I think one thing we also do, and this is more linked to our technical work, is we have our open space platform, but we are trying as much as possible to link to other platforms that are out there. One is a platform on development issues, which is managed by the European Commission, called Capacity for Dev. But the UNESCO has platforms, the ILO has platforms. So what we're trying to do is, trying to, let's say, replicate our content on other platforms dealing with linked issues. You know, it's a kind of win-win situation with them. We provide content. We then get people who are, you know, viewing our content on there and getting links towards our website and towards our knowledge sharing platform, Open Space. Was that what you wanted to hear, Daria?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Alastair. Marinella, shall I continue? I hear you wanted to add something?
Yes. Sorry.
Shall I continue, or you wanted to raise some?
Usually we take a little break, more or less at 3:30. And
okay.
if you want, you can continue and as you want.
Okay, I'll close maybe this.
Sorry, because after the break, there will be a training, you know.
Yes.
A little training. Student could work together for your exercise proposal. Okay.
Exactly. Perfect. Okay. So it's 26. I'm Italian and Swiss, so I'm pretty. You know, I have, it's kind of a value to respect the time, but I ask you if we can make it until 35 and then we have the break, okay?
If you want.
Yes?
Daria, I think maybe if you go straight to our Learning Connects campaign, because I think that's the most, maybe the most relevant thing, if you can tell them about that, and then we can come back after the break with the exercise.
Okay, fine. Because for the
slide 40.
But, pardon?
Slide 40.
Okay. Do you hear me? Okay. So go straight to the campaign. In case time, I will share campaigns with later on during, and you have everything in the slide anyway. So once the COVID crisis began, we've been asking ourselves how we could be at the service of the people in the neighboring countries, and also how we could, what we could be. And given that all our activities basically have suddenly demised because the world was changing, also our would have to change. We decided that we could not be silent. Silent would have meant be absent. So we've this campaign. Actually, it had another name, but before we launched a campaign with a similar name. So we had, but I don't know what I think about it. In the end, I think it's even better. The purpose and scope of this campaign, as Alastair mentioned earlier, is precisely to communicate and let people express how they are facing the learning in social distancing, and more particularly what solutions they're putting in place, and how potentially these solutions can inspire others and be scalable, and we launch also a reflection on the long term. We've voila. We've created the planner which you can see very bad. I'm sorry, it's a screenshot on the right, and we've run so far 4 Learning Connect TV shows. Sorry, I'd like to add one more thing. The Learning Connect campaign is a campaign which is a cross-channel campaign, and which is undertaken on all the platforms of the ETF, and that is affecting all that we do, both on the website, both on Open Space, on social media, and on all the other communication channels that we used. It began on the 2nd of April with under the format of interviews with 3 representatives from the learning sector from different countries. So far, we've interviewed people from Turin, from Serbia, Albania, North Macedonia, Azerbaijan, and Palestine. We've decided to make it a regular appointment so that people would get used to it. For 2 reasons. One is the time zones. No, the reason is only one. It's time zones, but with 2 consequences. One is that we decided to use the Zoom platform, which apparently is busier when the US are awake, US people are awake. So we decided to do it 11 in the morning CET. And the second time zone issue is that we often work also with Central Asia, and there can be up to, correct me if I'm wrong, 3 to 4 hours differences. So doing something in the afternoon, like at 4 or 5 p.m., would cut out a specific audience. The format is the same. It's a 1-hour conversation where the representatives from these countries, teachers, students, vocational education providers, policymakers, are sharing how they are facing how they are coping with COVID, as we often say. And this is linked to a research of a mapping exercise the ETF is doing in the countries. A big part of this conversation is together with all those who are following from Facebook. So a number of questions, a high number of questions is taken from the audience live, and this makes it very conversational. And we are sort of creating a mini community. To go on the next slide. Okay. Not surprising because people were following us live and without any promotion. So this is a 0 budget and 0 cost activity for the time being. It's pretty high because in all our partner countries, so in all 29 countries, but 1, which is Belarus, people are under lockdown and people are doing learning under social distancing conditions. So people are more keen at following things which are happening online. Nevertheless, we've done some mini promotions. As you can see here, we've promoted the focus on Palestine. We've spent €7.76, which is basically 0, and we've reached out to almost 40 people. What we do is outreach. It does not end with a live interview. That's only the starting point. Then what we do is promoted under the form of a blog on our channel Open Space, and you see a screenshot on the left with some sound bites from the speakers. And I can tell you these are extremely engaging and extremely interesting. And then on the right side, you see a screenshot of all the articles that we've been publishing on our website, where you can see that we are also running some bilateral interviews, in-depth interviews, which are not going also on Facebook Live. One last thing I'd like to mention is this one. No, it's in the exercise. So it will be for after. We can go for the break.
Okay. Restart and 4 p.m. It's good? Daria, sei d'accordo?
For me, yes. Sure.
Okay. Okay. We'll start at 5 p.m. Thank you. See you.
4, Marinella.
Four. Okay. 4. I write on the.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Dashboard. Allora, se siamo tutti qui, se siamo ritornati, chiedo a Daria, Santucci, Alastair e Joe se sono già se vogliono riprendere, perfetto. Alastair, ok. Thank you. C'è un messaggio, Carlotta Merlo. For this interesting question. There is a question for you. Daria, Joe, okay?
Yes.
Carlotta Merlo. A question from Carlotta Merlo for you.
I don't know, Alastair, you want to take it?
Okay. Are you seeing in the chat?
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Okay. Carlotta
Merlo. Okay.
Hi, Carlotta. So you're asking how we're perceived in the countries where we operate, and are people willing to cooperate with us? I think certainly the evaluations of our activities which have been conducted, and that's something which happens every 4 years. There's an external evaluation of our activity, which is carried out by the European Commission, who finances us. Generally speaking, there's a lot of satisfaction in our contribution to the countries where we work. I think part of that is due to the fact that we have been working in these countries for years. We have developed quite extensive contacts with all the key stakeholders in countries, and we come with an independent view. If you get the German cooperation coming in, they will come with the German models and German ideas. If you get the French in, they will come with French models and French ideas, whereas are really independent in that we are able to bring a European perspective and also the experience of the countries where we've been working all these years. So we're really able to bring them a kind of, let's say, a menu of possibilities, and we work together with them in what we call a policy learning approach, so that we help them identify what are the solutions that are more relevant to them, rather than coming along with a ready-made model. So in that perspective, I think our presence is very positively perceived by our partner countries. I don't know if that answers your question. I think, I mean, if there's also, I mean, like we should be clear also that, let's say, what we are doing is apolitical in a sense. I mean, we are doing, how would you say, cultural diplomacy, so that, I mean, let's say a lot of the countries, there isn't, I mean, there's a varying engagement with Europe. There's and certain of our countries are also being drawn towards, towards Russia. They're being drawn towards China. They're being drawn towards Turkey. But at the level at which we're operating, which is on issues of training, education and training, I think one of our superpowers is the fact that we're able to bring people around the table to talk about that, despite the broader political tensions which may be there. We're able to bring the Palestinians and the Israelis into the same room to talk about education. We're able to bring the Georgians and or the Armenians and the Azerbaijanis and the Georgians and Russians into the same room to talk about education and training, whereas the political dialogue at the higher level can be very, very strained.
Okay, another question before to start with these exercises.
I think I see a question about what is worthy of being published. I think, Joe, that would maybe be a question for you.
Joe, I must give you the voice. Joe.
I'm here.
Okay, perfect.
What's worth publishing? Things that people like to read, I think. I think one of the things that we actually discussed even this morning was about really long reports and how little people read those kind of things these days. I think attention spans are dramatically shorter than what they used to be. I mean, obviously there's a place for these things, but I think people want easily digestible information that they can follow up on if they need to. So they need to kind of have an overview of what's in certain documents, I think, and then they can decide whether or not they want to read the whole thing or the data linked to it or the analysis that went into it. I think that would be important.
I mean, I would add to that there's also a question of, what is it good for? How is it useful to you? I mean, clearly an academic will be looking for something different than a policymaker. A minister, for example, will be looking for something very different than an expert in the field. So it's a question of let's say, tailoring your content towards the interest and towards the way in which those people can assimilate that information. You know very well that a minister, will want something written on half a page. A policymaker may want, a 4-page policy briefing. An academic will want to see how we came to the conclusions or the recommendations that we're proposing. So they will maybe want to have more information and a lot more content to be able to judge whether our conclusions are valid or not. So it's really horses for courses.
Okay, other questions? Okay. Daria, the microphone is yours.
Yeah. Okay, so the idea is that we now have 30 minutes of a short exercise, and we have 2 questions for you. Do you still see me? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, good, because I do not see myself. So we would like to ask you to do mini research in the next 30 minutes around 2 questions. And then we will make a tour de table for the rest of the half an hour, where you will discuss with us and we'll discuss with you. Point 1, how can we do our communications better? I've shared in the chat, as you will see, the link to some of the resources that we can share with you, and you can surf on our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, our LinkedIn, etc. And the second question for you is, how can we reach out to people like you? For example, today, like 1 hour before we joined for this meeting, under this Learning Connects campaign, we received, where we are asking people to spontaneously share their stories of learning in lockdown, we received these emails by a student in Afghanistan, and she spontaneously sent us also these pictures showing how her life is under lockdown, and you can imagine also from a country which has experienced a number of other lockdowns and difficult situations as well. So the questions for you are two: how we can communicate better and how we can reach out to people like you. Of course, it's not a scientific research, it's a half an hour reflection for having a discussion later on.
Okay. We'll give you 10 minutes. How many time we can give to reflect about your questions?
Well, it's 10 past 4. Let's say that we can be here again at 4:35.
Yes, at the when we start, we can give the microphone each other, one for one, one to one. We open the microphone, and they can, in a short time, 2-3 minutes, express your point of view.
Sorry, I did not share the screen earlier. My fault. I was talking to myself. So this is question number 1.
Okay.
And this is question message this morning.
Okay.
One of the types of messages we receive, and the pictures.
Okay. Boy and girl, guys, reflect about, and after 10 minutes, we open the microphone one to one, and you tell us your reflection, your point of view.
Yes, just one last thing to make it easier. You can also speak in Italian if you prefer. Con Joy and Alastair, they perfectly speak Italian.
Okay, could be it is appreciated because not all speak so well English, I think.
Yeah, no problem.
No problem. Okay. And we can talk about this, but we can suggest some point of reflection.
Yes, sure. Well, on how we can do our communications better, as you see, we have listed here what is normally inside a communication plan. So the goal, the audiences, the messages, the channels, timeline, resources, evaluation. Is not a question of going on in these details, but maybe just 1 or 2 reflections. So maybe you can say you could run once a year, I don't know, an analysis of the social media engagement in 4 key countries, or you could, for example, explore TikTok. I'm inventing, or you could maybe include more videos embedded in your web news. Just it doesn't mean to have like a complete reflection, just 1 or 2 suggestions. If you were us, what would you explore so as to try to improve? And on the second point, how can we reach out to people like so to in the learning? We are learning all throughout all our life, but let's say people in between 15 and 25, how we can reach out to students, and how we can spread our messages in a way which is meaningful to them. And among the ideas, your ideas could be, I don't know, maybe they should manage our social media platforms for a day. They should be producing videos which we should be hosting without too many filters. Ideas. Let's say that if you come out with 1 suggestion per each question, that's a good assignment. Each one of you with 1 proposal for question 1 and 1 proposal for question 2. Okay.
If they want, they can help you in this communication campaign.
Yes, that's for sure. I did not mention earlier, but if you wish, of course, this is an extra thing, but it's just on a voluntary basis. We are planning to have at least one Learning Connect's interview focusing exclusively on student and student associations. And in case someone of you is interested in taking active part in the production phase with us, of course, at the distance, you are most welcome. And the first questions we're going to ask ourselves before producing that is precisely how can we do to communicate better, namely on this Learning Connect initiative, and how we can reach out to people like you in this case, so to students and students associations. But this is an extra opportunity, okay. And if you want, you're most welcome.
Are you the contact person? I could write in the chat your email if you agree.
The three of us, but yes, of course, I mean, Alastair and Joe will confirm.
Okay. It's more easy.
I have no privacy issues.
Copia. This is Daria email if you want participate to the at this campaign, communication campaign. This is your email if you want, if you have a time.
Yes. Should they put some classical music for the next 20 minutes?
We can sing a song. Is a new.
If you want, I could.
I'm not. I know. I sing not. I not sing so well.
I'll try to put some classical music. I don't know if it will work.
Okay.
Okay. Can you hear?
Yes.
Okay. I have a more happy version. Wait a sec. Ecco. You'll see later why.
Okay. Daria?
Yes.
Un po' più basso. È molto male. Forse facciamo la concentrazione.
Va bene così?
Filino meno. E 25 gli hai detto? Siamo
35.
35. Possiamo riprendere, diciamo così, Daria?
Perfetto, per me è perfetto.
Ok.
Per Alastair?
Alastair, Joe, we ask the phone of all students. Allora, Alice chiede, could you repeat the first one, please? Abbiamo visto tardi. Ok, the list. Tutti i partecipanti. Ok. Alessio. Ok, Alessio, have you the microphone? Buongiorno Alessio, sei senza microfono, come so, hai il microfono. Posso scrivere qui, ok. Alessio, write on in chat. Alice Esposito, ok. Your question, your reflection. Alice, are you here?
Professoressa?
Yes, ciao. Dimmi che cosa vuoi dire, in che lingua e quali sono state le tue riflessioni. Ti sentiamo? Alice, ti sentiamo? Il fantastico mondo di WebEx. Alice, non riesci? Provo a collegare il microfono, ok? Nel frattempo non perdiamo tempo. Carla, ci senti?
C'è una risposta di Alessio per scritto, vedo.
Sì, stavo andando avanti.
Scusate.
Per non... Carla Clualson, ci senti? Non funziona il microfono, mi sente ma non funziona il microfono. Allora rispondete per iscritto. Andiamo finché troviamo una voce, poi torniamo indietro sulle chat. Carlotta Merlo.
Buongiorno. Mi
Buongiorno.
sente?
Sì, perfetto.
D'accordo. Se posso io parlerei in italiano.
Va bene.
Se mi è concesso. D'accordo, grazie. Allora, vabbè, innanzitutto vi ringrazio ancora per questa breve lezione che state tenendo qua per noi. Per quanto riguarda la prima domanda su come possiate comunicare meglio, io ho pensato, ma forse è un'idea che già voi avete, di di estrarre dei piccoli pezzi dalle video interviste che avete fatto, che siano tematici, che quindi facciano riferimento a un determinato tema che si stava affrontando nell'intervista, perché video più brevi circolano meglio sui social. Mi sentite ancora?
Sì, credo che Alastair possa dire qualcosa in merito.
È probabilmente un'idea che avete già avuto, non sto dicendo niente di eccezionale in realtà.
Sono sempre ottime idee.
E quindi puoi pensare anche di dove indirizzare ovviamente questi video per non essere troppo ridondanti sulla stessa piattaforma. E per quanto invece riguarda la seconda domanda, io ho avuto un pensiero, però non so quanto sia praticabile, perché probabilmente è più, diciamo, un'aspirazione mia, che però non so i mezzi che occorrano per realizzare questa idea, che sarebbe quella di mettersi in contatto con coloro che vengono definiti influencer a livello nazionale, perché comunque sia stanno nascendo sempre più realtà che sono interessate ai temi sociali, economici, di innovazione, europei, che ne parlano anche in maniera divulgativa. Un esempio in Italia è una media agency, tutta digitale, che si chiama will.it, ha sede a Milano ed è gestito da ragazzi neolaureati che potrebbero avere la mia età e fanno, diciamo, un lavoro se vogliamo dire, da giornalista. Quindi pubblicano temi di innovazione, di attualità, fanno delle stories, fanno dei post. E
Quindi per collaborare.
Appoggiarsi magari a partecipare con loro per riuscire a raggiungere un target in linea con quello che desiderate, quindi persone giovani, comunque sia interessate a quello che li circonda, anche se non sono a conoscenza nello specifico della vostra realtà, ma che possono interessarsi alla vostra realtà, per uscire un po' magari dalla bolla in cui imperversano tutti gli account più istituzionali. Non so se è fattibile. È un'idea che mi è venuta 2 minuti fa.
Raccogliamo un po' di suggestioni, poi magari rispondiamo a blocchi. Perché Alice hai alzato la mano, attiva l'audio. Alice Esposito.
Sì, posso dire solo una cosa?
Sì?
Will è proprio scritto come il verbo in inglese, W-I-L-L.
Ok, perfetto.
Grazie.
A te. Alice, hai il microfono? Direi di no, non gli funziona. Leggiamo la risposta di Alessio. Ok, focalizzerei la comunicazione sui social facendo una breve analisi dei canali social più utilizzati. Mi sembra che sia quello che è stato fatto. L'idea è quella di utilizzare infografiche semplici e brevi su 2 social network principali. Alessio sempre dice infografiche di carattere più istituzionale su Twitter e di carattere più informale su Instagram. Nei vari post una call to action da condividere o mettere mi piace o anche a commentare e dire la propria, in modo da legare l'engagement e diffondere quindi la comunicazione anche a fette di audience che prima non erano raggiunte. Carla. I think it will be a good idea to use the most used social media, as an example Instagram, to give short sneak peeks of video or infographic easy to understand. E queste sono le prime. Chiedo ancora, do il microfono ad Edoardo se hai la possibilità di usarlo. Edoardo Martelli non ha il microfono. Su questa cosa del microfono però ragazzi io quello che vi dico, scusate voi, rubo un piccolo spazio ETF, guardate che poi gli orali non li potete fare con il mute, quindi capisco il momento, però cominciate a preoccuparvi di trovare una soluzione per parlare e apparire in video, perché quando ci saranno gli orari non possiamo fare tutto in chat, quindi ve lo dico, per questo frangente non è necessario. Giulia Bellamacina.
Mi sente?
Sì.
Sì, io in realtà in questi 20 minuti avevo pensato a strategie di comunicazione a livello di podcast, perché comunque ultimamente sono sempre più utilizzati e quindi anche a livello comunicativo, secondo me anche per il passaggio di informazioni potrebbero essere utili, sostanzialmente. Mi viene da pensare, anche ad esempio, anche io avevo pensato agli influencer di Will, ma anche Will ha creato di recente su Spotify una serie di podcast della durata di 5-10 minuti per appunto informare e comunicare, quindi anche per me questo potrebbe essere anche un'idea. Non so.
Ok, se hai finito ti tolgo il microfono. Ilaria Brunelli.
Salve.
Ciao.
Io posso rispondere anche in inglese se...
As you want.
Yes. I do find that to a certain extent the ways in which I think that communication could change and the ways in which it could reach me more, like they are more or less the same question to me, because it's hard for me to identify with a broader public outside of just, I mean, not my peers, but people my age or maybe university students. But I find that in general, well, the web, I mean, mostly focusing on Facebook and Twitter, since it's such a big project, the one of the ETF, and in so many countries, I mean, unfortunately, I did find it a little dispersive that different content in different languages just comes to the top, and so it's less uniform in that sense. And so maybe I thought it could be an idea. Of course, I have no competences whatsoever, but it's just an idea. Maybe to differentiate a little bit, like across maybe world regions, so that maybe building smaller communities, but like each more active online. As far as goes reaching me, I find that I respond very well to content in which you have to give an answer. So just like the small yes or no surveys that already are on the Facebook page. And if you like people, especially in this moment, people are very drawn like to be responsive and share their experience, or even just play a guessing game. So maybe posting a picture with like a question, or maybe asking to tell a story. And I really think people would respond well to that and engage with that content. And yeah, that's all I have for now.
Okay. Daria, Alastair, Joe, do you prefer answer now or at the end of the check sound, check voice?
For me, it's fine to keep on doing this tour. I don't know if Alastair and Joe have a different ideas.
I'm going to lose track very soon.
Ok. Ilaria Cianciola. Ilaria?
Buongiorno, mi sente?
Perfetto.
Allora, anch'io, come hanno già detto, avevo pensato appunto al coinvolgimento magari di alcuni influencer che potessero magari prestare il volto alla causa, e comunque cose che sono state già dette, e sicuramente fa forse un po' sorridere, però pensavo per raggiungere appunto la fascia 15-25, che comunque effettivamente si sta diffondendo molto l'uso di TikTok, che sembra una cosa veramente un po' così, però secondo me potrebbe essere un canale da tenere d'occhio appunto per riuscire a raggiungere una fascia di popolazione che è più attiva in quel senso, oppure comunque su Instagram proporre appunto magari video o comunque grafiche che possano aumentare l'engagement, magari anche tramite sondaggi o cose di questo tipo, insomma.
Perfetto, grazie.
A lei.
Ilaria Parisi. Ilaria?
Pronto?
Sì? Ci sentiamo.
Ah, ok, perfetto. Allora, io per quanto riguarda la comunicazione, quindi la prima domanda, avevo pensato, come hanno detto già alcuni precedentemente, di magari creare qualcosa di più interattivo, quindi magari giusto delle call to action o magari delle storie, o creare degli hashtag per cui le persone dovrebbero in teoria rispondere, quindi magari creare delle piccole community attorno magari a un tema, o non lo so, una giornata o un evento particolare. E poi una cosa che mi interesserebbe fare, ma non so se voi diciamo la fate già, è praticamente poter mettere in contatto tipo, non so come dire, ho visto nel vostro gruppo Facebook che ci sono diversi video in cui appunto ci sono magari diversi studenti, diversi giovani che parlano, e mi chiedevo se, cioè è anche una domanda, perché appunto non so se voi lo fate già, se capita che gli stessi studenti di diversi paesi magari si mettano in contatto tra di loro e possano appunto discutere di temi comuni, però diciamo allo stesso livello. Non so come spiegarmi, e spero che abbiate capito. E magari da questi piccoli dialoghi, o comunque questi piccoli focus group che potrebbero fare tra di loro, magari trarre dei nuovi spunti per poi toccare temi differenti anche nella comunicazione, perché magari poi sono i temi che interessano di più, o magari le differenze tra i paesi, qualcosa che possa arricchire, insomma, la cultura dei vari paesi. Non so se avete capito, se può essere...
Per me è chiaro, poi sentiamo cosa dicono. Grazie, disattivo. Manuela Lusanier. Manuela, hai l'audio? Manuela, hai l'audio? Probabilmente non riesce a parlare. Andiamo a Sara Valente. Sara, hai l'audio? Sì. Sara?
Professoressa, sì, mi sente?
Perfetto.
Eccomi. Allora, io per quanto riguarda la seconda domanda, ho trovato molto interessante l'intervento della professoressa Santucci prima, cioè il far gestire la pagina magari per un giorno da uno studente o da una studentessa e magari creare in un certo senso non so, una rubrica in cui si raccolgono poi tutte le attività magari fatte proprio da questi studenti. E poi per quanto riguarda invece il migliorare la comunicazione, avevo pensato.
Avevi pensato e ci lasci qua così. Sara, ti sei sconnessa? Sara, ti sei sconnessa? Dimmi poi in chat se ti riesci a riconnettere, io vado veloce perché poi ci sono solo 10 minuti. Ecco, è proprio collassato. Sara, Serena Filippozzi, Serena?
Ci sono.
Ecco,
Per quanto riguarda, buongiorno a tutti, innanzitutto. Allora, per quanto riguarda la prima domanda, come è stato già citato da miei compagni in precedenza, io sono andata a guardare un po' i vostri social ed in particolare ho notato che ad esempio le stories di Instagram non sono utilizzate. Questo secondo me potrebbe essere un ottimo modo per raggiungere un target che comprenda noi della nostra età ed anche ragazzi più piccoli, insomma, con l'idea della call to action ovviamente molto utile. Per quanto riguarda invece la seconda domanda, io avevo pensato eventualmente a lanciare dei contest, ad esempio, su una tematica specifica che interessa a voi sviluppare ovviamente, in modo tale da diciamo andare un po' anche a sviluppare quelle che sono in un certo senso anche le skills imprenditoriali, nel senso di andare proprio a stimolare i ragazzi a pensare novità, oppure ad esempio io stavo pensando un contest possibile su quelle che sono le skills che mancano ad esempio ad una certa persona, quindi cercare insomma di non so, di sviluppare delle idee tramite forme di comunicazione innovativa e poi eventualmente invitare coloro che in questo contest anche presso il vostro centro, ad esempio, per sensibilizzarli, per far conoscere anche le vostre idee. Insomma, di cosa vi occupate.
Ok, allora ridò il microfono a Sara Valente che nel frattempo dice proviamo a vedere. Sara?
Sì.
Ecco.
Comunque stavo dicendo che si potrebbe, diciamo, potenziare in un certo senso l'interazione con gli utenti, magari anche su Instagram, soprattutto per persone più giovani come noi, insomma, che magari lo userò appunto più frequentemente tramite, ad esempio, dei format come, non so, dei quiz o dei sondaggi che, se non sbaglio, sono stati già menzionati prima. Ad esempio, conosco una pagina che cerca di appunto fare questi quiz una volta a settimana. Quella pagina lo fa sulla storia contemporanea, se non erro, però si potrebbe appunto indirizzare magari su conoscenze sull'Unione Europea verso appunto altri paesi al di fuori dell'Unione Europea che magari non sono molto a conoscenza appunto
Ok, te ne sei andata di nuovo. Ci lasci sempre con la frase a conoscenza di, magari scrivila nella chat. Allora, se qualcun altro si era aggiunto, lo scriva qui. io darei ai nostri ospiti di oggi la risposta ai vostri commenti. Daria, Joe, Alastair?
Alastair, you want to begin?
Oh, sì, no, grazie tanto per la vostra creatività e le vostre idee. Si vede che siete di un'altra generazione di me, che siete sui social, siete proprio dei nativi, e invece noi di persone della mia età è una cosa che facciamo fatica, soprattutto sui canali giovani tipo Instagram e soprattutto TikTok, a non chiedermi di intervenire. Comunque io ho cercato di seguire anche con i nomi, però siete tanti e poi non so, ci sono almeno 3 Ilaria, e avrò difficoltà. Ho visto che avete fatto avete seguito molto bene le lezioni, perché vedo ci sono dei principi molto ben fondati di comunicazione. Vedo sul chat ha parlato di fare analisi. Penso che in teoria, cioè in buona pratica, si dovrebbe fare un'analisi prima di lanciare qualsiasi azione di comunicazione. È chiaro che questa è una cosa che molto deboli su questo, perché diciamo fare, non abbiamo tempo per i rispetto. Dunque questo è un buon consiglio. Anche l'idea di diversificare il contenuto secondo i canali, questo è proprio fondamentale. Poi avete parlato la necessità di avere contenuto sui social media che sollecitano la reazione, di avere competizioni, quiz, sondaggi. Effettivamente abbiamo trovato che sui social i post con più successo sono quelli lanciati delle competizioni. Le idee molto buone di avere dei scritto guest editors for social channels. Questo mi sembra un'idea interessante. The action è chiaramente fondamentale su qualsiasi piattaforma sociale, e questa è una cosa che cerchiamo di sfruttare il più possibile sul nostro open space knowledge sharing platform. Penso che qualcuno ha parlato di fare gli influencer a livello nazionale, e chiederò a Joe di raccontarci, perché abbiamo una certa esperienza di questo. Abbiamo utilizzato questo approccio un po' di anni fa sul nostro Women and Work, un progetto specifico. Poi l'idea di piccole comunità è veramente una cosa sul quale stiamo riflettendo, e penso che ho fatto un po' il giro. Se ho lasciato mancato qualcuno, magari Daria potrebbe parlarne. Ma Joe, potresti parlare un po' della nostra attività sui Women and Work? Joe?
Joe, I give you the microphone.
Se non risponde perché mi ha scritto che aveva ricevuto una chiamata per una riunione urgente. Non so se ancora, ha detto che sarebbe rientrata appena l'avessero liberata, però non so che.
Controllo se c'è ancora in...
Sì, se posso dire 2 parole.
Joe c'è ancora.
Abbiamo avuto 2 iniziative.
I have a message about reorganizing your workload, sure.
No. Credo che sia nell'altra conversazione, scusate, gli ho ridato l'audio.
No, dunque, un po' di anni fa abbiamo avuto due iniziative sull'inclusione, uno sull'inclusione e l'altro sull'inclusione sociale, l'altro su le donne e il lavoro, nel quale abbiamo creato una rete di influencer nei nostri paesi e che loro hanno fatto dei blog, hanno fatto diciamo un lavoro su social media e insieme, diciamo, in base alla loro attività abbiamo fatto una conferenza con delle tematiche che erano crowdsourced in qualche modo, che venivano dal territorio, le persone che proponevano le loro preoccupazioni, il contenuto. Dunque questo per delle tematiche molto larghe che coinvolgono tante persone, penso che è un approccio molto molto valido.
Ok.
Aggiungo io?
Sì, sì, ok, sì, sono già le 5, purtroppo abbiamo forse, vabbè, di qualcosa
Però no, veramente velocissima. Innanzitutto grazie a tutti perché sono tutti, come diceva Alastair, dei consigli che rivelano una lettura molto attenta di quello che abbiamo fatto, per quanto era possibile ovviamente nei tempistiche date, e avete anche colto molto il senso di quello che facciamo come agenzia. Alcune delle iniziative che voi proponete abbiamo provato a farle, ad esempio la parte delle storie su Instagram è una parte che abbiamo sviluppato per molto tempo. Quando si parla di resources eravamo anche 2 in più nel team, in questo momento siamo queste due persone, una persona si occupava di Instagram in particolare, e quindi stiamo riuscendo a coprire un po' meno, ma sicuramente torneremo quando si potrà chiaramente a farlo, ben tenendo a mente però la grafica che abbiamo visto insieme sulla penetrazione dei social nei diversi paesi, cioè sarebbe interessante vedere qual è la penetrazione di Instagram nei paesi in cui noi più intendiamo essere presenti. Stessa cosa vale per TikTok. Molto interessante, non conoscevo questo will.it, andremo sicuramente a vederlo. Riflessioni sui podcast, ne abbiamo discusso e senz'altro è qualcosa che rimane sul tavolo. Anche l'idea dei quick poll, di fare delle pillole più brevi, questo è qualcosa che è iniziato tra l'altro proprio su iniziativa di Alastair la settimana scorsa. In generale chiudo con la domanda: se c'è qualcuno che vuole partecipare con noi alla produzione di una puntata per gli studenti, raise your hand.
Ok. Sì, Manuela Lucienier si era aggiunta dopo e sostanzialmente diceva quello che volevo dire, come hanno detto anche alcuni dei miei colleghi, che sarebbe utile puntare soprattutto su Instagram, magari utilizzando le dirette che permettono di fare intervenire le persone che sono collegate e guardare la diretta. Questo formato permetterebbe interventi magari più brevi, ma da parte di più persone, quindi, come dire, confermo quello che avevamo detto. Allora, io dico, sono le 7:05, dico, io ringrazio Daria, Alastair, Joe, thank you very much. Speriamo come dire, ci auguriamo che presto di riprendere anche una frequentazione in un modo meno strano di quello che stiamo facendo adesso. Vi ringrazio per essere rimasti con noi 3 ore, quindi per aver accettato di essere collegati a distanza. Teniamo tutti i canali aperti e niente, è stato un piacere, è stato molto interessante, anche i ragazzi e le ragazze l'hanno sottolineato, effettivamente è un pezzo della comunicazione europea che spesso non viene messo a sistema, integrato nel più ampio spettro di come si comunica l'Europa, che cos'è questa complessità, che è un po' il punto di di vista. Alastair, vuoi dire qualcosa? Certamente puoi dire qualcosa.
Volevo aggiungere che tra poco lanceremo un posto di stagiaire nel nostro servizio. Dunque, ho collegato con i partecipanti la nostra pagina recruitment e dunque penso che nelle prossime settimane ci sarà un posto aperto per uno o due stagiaire nel nostro reparto. Dunque, se tra i vostri voi partecipanti c'è qualcuno che è interessato a fare 6 mesi da noi,
se mi fate avere poi gli estremi io lo ricorderò, perché questo è un gruppo, come dire, di studenti e studentesse che insomma riusciamo a dialogare tra di noi, c'è un discorso proprio anche formativo più aperto, per cui, come dire, se questa opportunità ce la comunicate sicuramente la faremo circolare, sperando di trovare dei profili che siano adatti alle vostre richieste. Però sicuramente, grazie per la...
Ho condiviso il link alla nostra pagina recruitment.
Dov'è che l'hai condiviso? Perché non lo trovo.
Ho fatto per tutti quanti, all attendees, riprovo.
Perché forse l'hai messo sulle question, però non lo vedo.
No, questo è sul chat.
No.
Intanto te lo mando a te, così poi...
Grazie, io poi tanto noi...
Ecco, lo vedo.
Eccolo qua, adesso c'è. Perfetto, quindi segnatevi questo, anzi faccio così che lo copio io poi nella pagina, nella giornata di oggi, quindi che noi abbiamo nel nostro Moodle l'argomento della giornata, metto il link e grazie tante. Noi ragazzi ci vediamo domani. Federico Anghele e Jesse Colzani, The Good Lobby, e come si fa lobby nelle istituzioni europee, e quindi continuiamo, stiamo quasi per finire il nostro ciclo, però insomma, un altro pezzettino in più. Vi ringrazio veramente tantissimo per la vostra disponibilità, Daria, Alastair, Joe e tutti quelli coinvolti. Speriamo di riuscire a, come dire, a fare cose, che questo scambio sia proficuo anche per voi, insomma.
Grazie a voi tutti quanti.
Ciao Daria.
È stato un piacere.
Grazie.
È stato un piacere per noi. Grazie a tutti, ciao Daria, buongiorno Alastair, e noi poi Daria ci sentiamo in un altro momento.
Certamente. Buona serata a tutti.
Buona serata, grazie.